Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. In the heart of a quiet suburban neighborhood, chaos erupted as sirens wailed and blue and red lights flickered ominously. Maya Johnson, a strong and determined woman, clutched her brother Daniel's arm, his shirt soaked in blood from a gunshot wound. Panic gripped the air as police officers shouted orders, their voices harsh and unyielding. Get on the ground. Hands up. But Maya stood tall, her heart racing with fierce resolve. She was not just a victim, she was a Navy SEAL, trained to fight, to protect, and to survive. The officers pursuing them saw only a black woman and her injured brother, unaware of the warrior spirit that burned within her. Hold on, Daniel, she whispered, her voice steady despite the chaos. She hoisted him onto her shoulders, feeling the weight of his body but refusing to falter. Every step she took was fueled by love and determination, her mind racing back to the moment their lives changed forever. Earlier that evening, they had shared laughter over dinner, a simple family meal that now felt like a distant memory. The sudden screech of tires shattered their peace, and before they knew it, guns were drawn. Daniel had tried to shield her, but the bullet found its mark, and he fell to the ground, leaving Maya engulfed in a storm of rage and sorrow. Never, she had promised him, shaking her head as he urged her to flee. I will always protect you. As bullets whizzed past, Maya's instincts kicked in. She dodged and weaved, her training guiding her movements. The neighbors peered through their curtains, some recording the scene, others too terrified to intervene. But Maya knew she couldn't just run, she had to stand her ground. Spotting an alley ahead, she veered toward it, her boots pounding against the pavement. The officers shouted threats, but she felt the tide turning. They didn't know her secret, and by the end of the night, they would wish they had never fired that first shot. In the alley, she gently lowered Daniel against the cold brick wall, his face pale from blood loss. She tore a strip from her shirt and pressed it against his wound, her hands steady despite the chaos outside. As she worked, memories flooded her mind, years of grueling training, the relentless pursuit of excellence, and the promise she made to her late father to protect those she loved. Who are you? Daniel whispered, his voice weak but filled with curiosity. I am a Navy SEAL, she replied, her voice calm and resolute. In that moment, Daniel understood that his sister was not just a protector, she was a warrior forged by fire. As the sound of approaching boots echoed in the alley, Maya felt her training take over. She was ready to fight, to reveal the truth that had been hidden for too long. The shadows of the police loomed closer, but she stood firm, her heart pounding with purpose. The courtroom was tense as Maya sat beside Daniel, his arm bandaged and healing. Across the room, the police officers who had shot at them sat in their uniforms, pretending to be heroes. Their lawyers spun lies, claiming the siblings were armed and dangerous. The judge, a stern woman, glared down from the bench, her voice sharp and demanding order. Maya clenched her fists, her mind racing. She had nothing to hide. When the prosecutors smugly claimed that no innocent woman could have escaped bullets the way she did, Maya rose to her feet. I have a story to tell, she declared, her voice steady and unwavering. As she revealed her identity as a Navy SEAL, gasps filled the room. The officers shifted uncomfortably, their bravado faltering. Maya detailed her training, her missions, and her oath to protect life. She exposed the lies, pointing out the inconsistencies in the officers' testimonies. Slowly, the jury began to see the truth. Daniel watched with pride as his sister fought not just for him, but for justice itself. The courtroom was filled with tension as Maya stood tall, her brother's hand in hers, their bond unbreakable. The judge leaned forward, her gavel tapping nervously as murmurs rippled through the gallery. Maya's words flowed like thunder as she recounted the night of the attack, describing the sound of bullets tearing through the silence. The sight of her brother bleeding on the ground. The cruelty of officers who swore to protect but instead tried to kill. She spoke not with hatred but with truth, and each sentence crashed against the lies like waves breaking on stone. Silence is no longer an option, she declared, her voice rising. This is about every black family who has lived in fear, every innocent person crushed beneath the weight of corruption. A mother wiped tears from her eyes, and a young man clenched his fists in hope, drawing strength from her defiance. The judge tried to cut her off, but Maya's gaze was unyielding. In that silence, the jury delivered their verdict. Not guilty for Maya and Daniel, guilty for the officers whose arrogance had finally collapsed under the weight of truth. The gavel slammed, but the sound was drowned out by the roar of voices as people rose to their feet, clapping and cheering. Justice had broken through the darkness. Maya turned to Daniel, lifting him gently into her arms. His face was filled with tears, not of pain, but of pride. "You're a hero," he said, but Maya shook her head. "No, Daniel. We are survivors together, and we will not stop fighting for what is right." As they left the courtroom, flashes from cameras blinded them, reporters screaming questions. But Maya ignored them, walking into the light with her brother held close. Her heart was unbroken, for she knew the fight was far from over. Tonight, they had won. Tonight, the world had seen what happens when truth stands against hate and when love refuses to bow to fear. The fire within Maya burned brighter than ever, igniting a movement that would change everything. But just as they stepped outside, a figure emerged from the shadows. A man in a dark suit, his expression unreadable. "Maya Johnson," he said, his voice low and steady. "We need to talk. There's more at stake than you realize." Maya's heart raced. She exchanged a glance with Daniel, who looked equally bewildered. What could this man want? And what did he know about the night that had changed their lives forever? "Let's find somewhere private," she replied, her voice firm. "I'm not afraid of the truth." The man nodded, leading them away from the throng of reporters and into a nearby cafe, its dim lighting a stark contrast to the chaos outside. Once seated, he leaned in closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "You don't understand the implications of what just happened in that courtroom. The officers you faced are part of something much larger, an organization that operates in the shadows, manipulating events to maintain control." Maya's brow furrowed. "What do you mean? They shot at us without cause. That should be enough." The man shook his head. "It's not that simple. They're connected to a network that protects its own. If you continue to pursue this, you'll put yourself and your brother in grave danger." Daniel's grip tightened on Maya's hand. "We can't back down now. We've come too far." The man's eyes softened slightly. "I understand your resolve, but you need to be prepared. They won't let this go easily. You're not just fighting for justice, you're challenging a system that has thrived on fear and silence." Maya felt a surge of determination. "Then we'll expose them. We'll make sure everyone knows the truth." The man leaned back, studying her intently. "You're brave, but bravery alone won't be enough. You'll need allies, resources, and a plan. I can help you, but you must trust me." Maya hesitated, weighing her options. Could she trust this stranger? But as she looked at Daniel, she knew they had to take the risk. "What do you propose?" "First, we gather evidence. I have contacts who can help you dig deeper into the officers' backgrounds and their connections. We need to build a case that's undeniable. Then, we'll go public but on our terms." Maya nodded, her resolve hardening. "Let's do it. We won't let them silence us." As they discussed their next steps, Maya felt the weight of the world on her shoulders, but she also felt a flicker of hope. This was just the beginning of a fight that would test her in ways she had never imagined, but she was ready. She had faced the darkness before, and now, with Daniel by her side and new allies emerging from the shadows, she would not back down. The fire within her was ignited, and she would use it to burn through the lies and corruption that threatened to consume them both. And as they left the cafe, Maya knew that the battle for justice was far from over. It was only just beginning. Do you want to know the fate of the heroes? Please post part 2. Subscribe to the channel and continue watching. Your opinion and support are important to me. Leave it in the comments. Thank you.